Welcome back to the Wild Blue Wanderers channel. So last week we gave you a tour of the inside of our RV. So this week we're going to give you a tour of the outside and explain some of the reasons we chose to go with the Super C. So we'll get all these doors opened up and we'll go from there. So a few reasons we decided on a Super C is the first one is we just kind of like the looks of it. So that was the first reason. Secondly, we like the idea that the engine is more serviceable. It sits out in front instead of having to crawl through a back hatch or through the back of the RV. We can get into the front engine. It's easier to maintenance. A lot of the truck shops will maintenance a vehicle like this where they don't like to crawl inside, where they have to go into the living area of the RV. In addition, we feel having this big engine block in front of us makes it safer in the chance of some kind of collision. Also, the windshield is more of a standard windshield, so the price of the windshield is quite a bit less than the great big huge windshields on the Class A's, which that's give or take. Those big windows are pretty nice. We really like the fact that there's the front doors. We can get in and out separately from having to go through the back. So ours is on the M2-106 truck chassis. The two main chassis for Super Cs are the S2RV and the M2-106. We chose the M2-106 chassis for a few reasons. One of the biggest reasons is the engine. This comes with the ISL 8.9 liter Cummins engine rather than the smaller ISB 6.7 liter engine. The bigger engine gives us 350 horsepower and about 1,100 foot-pounds of torque, where the smaller engine is 360 horsepower, but only 800 foot-pounds of torque. This is the engine that I've worked on for many, many, many years, so I'm super familiar with it. It's got wet cylinders, so it can be rebuilt easier, and it's a truck engine. Also, it comes with the heavier duty transmission. It's the 3200 truck transmission rather than the 3000 RV transmissions. With the bigger engine, we also get true engine braking. We got high and low 2-speed engine braking. We get the differential lock, and we also have the air dump, which isn't normally available on the S2. And it has a 20,000 pound tow rating rather than just a 10 to 12,000 pound tow rating. One of the other differences we found is that the cab actually sits 5 inches higher on the M2 chassis than it does on the S2 RV. What that does is gives a flatter floor going from the front to the back, which is nice when you get up and walk back, but also if there's people sitting in the back, they don't have to stoop over as much to look out the front window. It's actually a straighter view out. Another thing that we like about the M2 chassis is we have two 50-gallon saddle tanks, and also a 6-gallon DEF is right here in the same location. A lot of the other vehicles have their tanks in different locations where they have either the DEF in the back or the diesel in the back. So when you pull up to the pumps, you actually have to move your vehicle to fill everything up. This is super nice. You pull into the truck pumps with a satellite pump. You put both your fuel nozzles in, fill the tanks up, then switch right over to DEF, and we can fill our DEF, and everything's nice and easy in one location. So we'll go ahead and start walking down the side here. We got all the doors open. Our first bay is our electrical bay. We've got a 2800 watt inverter, along with all of the other electrical, our transfer switch and surge guard. Then the next bay is our battery bay. We've got 2 truck batteries, and I've upgraded the batteries, so we've got 3 300 amp hour lithium batteries. If we come back, this is just a little storage bay. We just keep some stuff for working on the truck, the extra oils and blocks and different things in there. Next, we've got our Onan 8,000 watt generator that runs off the diesel tank. Then we come back to our wet bay. In our wet bay, it's a mess right now, but I added the hose reel because we didn't have the hose reel initially. It's got the macerator pump. Our filter is broken off. If you saw our winter road trip, you'll know why. We got the outdoor shower and different stuff there. Then the next one's our electrical bay. In our electrical bay, we've got the hose reel, or I'm sorry, the cord reel, and I've also started to hang some things so I can hang some of our other stuff up above. The rest of that will get hung up there eventually. Then in the last bay on this side, we actually have our propane tank. We're not an all-electric unit. We have propane on ours. Runs our furnace, our water heater, and the stove. So one of the things you'll notice on this side compared to the other side is if you look at these struts, their location, it makes it a little bit harder to get things in and out because they're right in the way. So on the other side, you'll notice I've actually moved these and moved them up to the top. So it made us a little bit more room. So on the back, other than the cat, on the back, we got the 20,000 pound 3-inch hitch, which we've actually adjusted up a little bit from where it was originally. So it tows the Jeep better and it doesn't hang down quite as far. We got dual backup cameras up at the top. One points straight down at the hitch and one points out the back, like a rear view mirror. And then as we come around this side, you'll see just a lot of storage. This bay is a mess right now. I had a pull-out toolbox, but I'm redesigning that. But you can see these upper struts where we put them here. They don't get in the way as you're loading. And there's also a pass-through that goes through there.
See the old holes.
And the rest of these are just all storage bays. But one thing to note is that I did make it so these doors open a full 90 degrees now rather than before they only opened kind of this way. So it makes it a little bit easier to access and put things in and out.
Much easier.
This bay, this is the back of our black and our gray tank. And there's also, if anybody's looking for it, that's where your fresh water drain is inside this bay. We've got the Truma on-demand water heater. I've heard a lot of things lately about people not liking their on-demand. We love ours. It works great. It only takes a few seconds to get hot water up in, and it works really good. I don't think I'd want anything different. And here we've got a television, just a small television. We do have it on a pull-out, so it can pull out now and swing around. A little speaker system, more storage underneath. And they've got pass-throughs above, so there's more storage up above. So we feel like there's plenty of storage on here. Everything's empty right now because we're getting everything ready to go full time. So we're reevaluating what all we're going to put in and how we're going to store it all. And there's the other saddle tank on this side for the other fuel tank. They're both 50 gallons on both sides. On the roof, when we bought it, it came with 200 watts of solar. I added an additional 300 watts, so we have a total of 500 watts of solar on the roof. One of my goals eventually is to add a few more panels up there. Try to figure out the best fitting of them and as many as I can when the time comes. So one of the things that we have on ours is we do have the slide toppers on top of ours. I've always thought they were a great thing because it keeps all the dirt and debris from getting stuck on top and ending up inside. However, we have noticed what other people have said, that when the wind starts blowing, they start whipping and making a lot of noise, and you almost have to put the slides in to protect them. And if you look, you can actually see ours have started to rip a little bit already. So we've come up with a plan. Stay tuned, and you'll see what that plan is in the next month. But anyway, that's our tour of the Super C. Again, we chose the M2 106 chassis. There's other chassis. There's the M2 112. There's some that they put on even some of the bigger truck frames and stuff. But the most common is the S2 RV and the M2 106. So we chose the M2 106. We felt it was superior, in our opinion, for what we wanted and for what we were going to use it for. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if there's any questions, leave us a comment. We hope that you'll give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and you'll see how we're going to fix this problem here next month. Thanks.